What up? This your boy, Opinionated MJ. This here is gonna be the Brooklyn Nets pie right here. I really just call it New Boston because the Brooklyn Nets right now, the 2021 Brooklyn Nets, remind me of the 07-08 Boston Celtics team. The way they kind of pieced everything together. It's on different timelines. Like, Ray Allen and KG kind of came together at the same time. It was via trade, and Paul Pierce was already over there. The Nets, on the other hand, they acquired Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, through free agency, and they traded for James Harden. So, a lot of people tripping about them getting LaMarcus Aldridge, but I'm not. So, everybody acting like he's still in his prime or something, like he, in his Portland days, averaging 20-plus points. He's not. He's averaging about 14 points this year on, what did I see, 43% shooting, something like that, 45. And he only played 21 games. So I'm quite sure there's some decline in there. You know what I'm saying? While everybody acting like he's still in his prime. He's not. He's far from it. I think people forgot that the Celtics got Sam Cassell, who was averaging over 10 points late in the season. They got PJ Brown, and I think he was averaging close to 10 around that time. Sam Cassell had came from the Clippers. PJ Brown came from the Bulls, if I'm not mistaken. And those guys made a huge impact. You know what I'm saying? The Celtics also had James Posey, Leon Poole, Tony Allen, Rondo, KG, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, of course. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really nothing to be tripping over, and then everybody is up in arms about the whole Blake Griffin thing, and he dunking now, and he wasn't doing nothing in Detroit. Us here in Detroit, a lot of us is upset because, he just wouldn't show up for us this season. But I'm not mad at Blake Griffin, just to get that out the way. I'm not mad at him. He gave us his best season ever. You know what I'm saying? You go to NBA.com and look at his his career year in and year out. He played his best when he got traded here, and then it wore him down to do that because he had to carry everything. It's easy to make a player look like he's better than he is when you have great players. Another one of my sayings, I say it all the time, just cite me if you use it. Great players make great players greater. And I'm not saying that they making Blake great, but it's nice when the whole, the defense don't have to really, they're not scouting for you. You got Kyrie and James Harden over there. KD ain't even been playing, bro. So, and really, I don't think Kyrie has played with Blake yet, has he? Maybe one game? But, Harden just making everybody over there look good because he playing point Harden. You know what I'm saying? So, I just think everybody need to relax. Any team can be beat. If we seen the Warriors go down in 2019, trust me, anybody can be beat. If we reach deep into our pockets, it's a lot of people that was complaining, oh, well, if LeBron had Kyrie and Kevin Love, oh, the Warriors beat every team along the way. They was all hurt. Well, hell, the Warriors was hurt the year after that when they went down after being up 3-1. The Raptors beat a decimated Warriors team. Like, this stuff not promised, bro. Like, you got to play. You got wear and tear on your body. Chemistry issues come into play. Ego issues come into play. And I just think everybody need to relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, it's Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge. They were doing nothing on their respective teams. The Pistons missed the playoffs last year. And the Spurs missed the playoffs last year. So, you overblowing. Oh, they're going to be impactful. Okay, they probably will. But I just don't think that it's worth acting like, because as soon as it happened, as soon as the LaMarcus Aldridge deal happened anyway, the Brooklyn Nets have a total of like 41 playoff appearances or all-star appearances, something like that, man. Like, it's not that serious, bro. All them dudes are not about to make the all-star game now. Blake and LaMarcus, they didn't make the all-star game now, and Kevin Durant was hurt last year. So, hell, for that matter, Kyrie was too. And yeah, I know, Kevin, Kyrie, and Harden made the All-Star team this year, but it's just those three. It's not Nick Claxton. It's not Joe Harris. If anything, that's what people need to be talking about. The fact that the Brooklyn Nets still do actually have Joe Harris and Spencer Dinwiddie, and nobody is saying anything about that, which means they can get even stronger, potentially. I don't know how the money's going to work. I don't know how the luxury tax is going to work. I don't know about none of that, but it can happen that way. So, it's just crazy that certain fan bases want to have certain teams be built up, but then when the team that they don't want to continue to build up and, acquire players that's just names at this point, they cry foul, and they're just like, man, let's just watch this NBA season play out. Let's just watch it play out. I mean, they're not going to last more than 3 to 4 years anyway. No manufactured super teams do. Yes, manufactured super team. Yes, I called it that. So, I mean, the money gets in the way. You know what I'm saying? The Warriors were an anomaly because they had their veterans in place. Then Steph ascended. They ended up drafting Dre and Clay, and then Steve Kerr came in and adjusted all of that stuff and made it the Warriors that we know today, or what we knew of them anyway. Their 5-year run. He turned that, into a certain type of. Basically, Steve Kerr gave us what the Warriors are. Without him, does Mark Jackson get over the hump? He probably does, but does he get there 5 times? Does he make the adjustments that's necessary? Does he, get Iguodala to go to the bench? Does he get David Lee to stay on the bench after he got hurt and Dre got plugged into a spot? Like, it's a lot of variables that go into some of this stuff, man. And that stuff is all in-house. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, James Harden just forced his way to the Golden State Warriors, like, a little bit into the season, and the Warriors, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not like that. It was different. And even the Cavs teams that was put together. LeBron got a few acquisitions late in the season, but for the most part, those moves were done during the offseason. So a lot of people like, look, let's Miami even picked up people on the waiver wire. Like, this is part of the game, man. Like, the only way this stuff is gonna be fixed is if y'all really, really probably cry and scream at the NBA and the Players Association. And I'm quite sure the owners are already just looking at all this stuff like, man, I don't like this, man, I don't like this. Because some teams just feel like they don't have a chance, And then you got the NBA fan base, the NBA loyalty. I'll call it the NBA loyalty. You got the NBA loyalty mad at like teams like Orlando talking about, they just gave all their good players away for nothing. Well, I mean, what's the opportunity, going down the line that they're going to actually make the playoffs this year? Everybody's hurt. Jonathan Isaac is hurt. Markelle Fultz is hurt. So it's no point. You know what I'm saying? Like, the window is closed for them, basically. Like, yeah, they made the playoffs the last couple years. They won a game on Giannis and Kawhi, but nothing's going to happen. And I actually don't see that as a bad move with them, because now they're looking at Markelle Fultz, Jonathan Isaac, and Mo Bamba going forward. It's like building from within. So I think a lot of y'all just need to relax, man. But my initial perception I was trying to give to y'all is that I see this Brooklyn Nets team as like the Boston Celtics of 2008. And with that being said, I think they should go on to win, but I'm still rolling with the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm sorry. It would be nice if along the way Brooklyn had a whole bunch of 7-game series the way Boston did when they first came together until did they go 7 against Detroit? Or was it 6? I think it was 7, and then they won 6 against Kobe. Yeah, it would be nice to see that type of playoff where it's like, you thought that this team was overwhelmingly good, but then you get to the playoffs and then you get slapped. I mean, and that's something that a lot of casual fans and a lot of, people that don't really, pay attention to everything that goes on in basketball. Like, all of this stuff is fine and dandy. On paper, this is beautiful. On the floor in the regular season, this is beautiful. But, I mean, I don't even want to take nothing away from none of their big three. But all I'm going to say is this is honestly like a clean slate for them because, Kyrie won a ring, and a lot of people will say, well, if it wasn't for Kevin Durant, he won a ring, and a lot of people will say, well, if it wasn't for. So, okay, now you got this big three. Let's just act like they don't have no ring. None of them. And look at it like it's a clean slate. They all came together because they're trying to get a ring because we live in this NBA culture now where it's like, oh, I have to win a ring, or I have to force my way to team up with somebody to win a ring, so I'm not a laughing stock like Barkley, Miller, Ewing, ha ha ha. And they only feel that way because Jordan was that dominant. Like, there's nobody that's that dominant now, because all you got to do is team up and it's done, So, the last person that probably won a ring organically is probably, would it be Steph? I would damn near give Kawhi an organic ring, but yeah, all the Warriors went down. But yeah, Steph, Dirk, and probably the Pistons before that. Other than the Spurs and that Lakers team, because they were somewhat organic. Kobe forced Shaq out, but let's not get off topic. Look, the Brooklyn Nets to me are they're new Boston. Brooklyn Nets, new Boston. So, Celtics fans don't get mad at me for calling them new Boston, but that's just how I see it. Just top to bottom, the depth that they have, the veterans that they have, D'Antoni and Steve Nash over there, the coaching staff, and nobody is blaming Steve Nash for all of these players wanting to come to Brooklyn either. I don't know why they're not, and Steve Nash is cool with so many people, but I'll end it on this note. Y'all was mad at Kyrie when he said what he said on that podcast, on KD's podcast, and when he said what he said about Steve Nash, I don't really see him as a coach, and this is basically what he meant. Like, people are not going to look at Steve Nash as if he's like who can I say, like a Greg Popovich or a Phil Jackson or even a Bradley Stevens or who else is a prominent coach? Back then, rest in peace, Jerry Sloan, Larry Brown. Like Steve, they look at Steve Nash like he's one of their peers. You know what I'm saying? And he's, of course, based upon what I've been hearing, they all have some type of input. Like, it's like a player's coach, man. Like, y'all just need to redirect your blame, and don't even really blame Steve Nash. Just be upset that Steve Nash he got that cachet like that. And I just wanted to get that out there to y'all, man. But good luck, Brooklyn. This is one Detroit Piston fan that's not mad at you. I know the city mad at you, especially for what you did with Isaiah Stewart, but I ain't tripping. Whatever. Bruce Brown over there, Blake over there, Spencer Dinwiddie, y'all all ex-Pistons. Go get y'all ring, man. All right.